Welcome back to Ryan Knows Movies. The film with the silliest plot of the year finally came out, and that is Cocaine Bear. That's right, apex predator, high on cocaine, wreaking havoc through this national forest. The plot of this film is pretty simple. A guy throws a ton of cocaine out of this plane for reasons unknown, and they land in this forest in Georgia, this national forest. And a black bear gets into it, not knowing what it is. He starts to consume it, starts to sniff it, starts to snort it, and he gets high out of his mind. And what happens next? This bear wants more, so he goes on this rager looking for the coke. And so you have this bear that's running crazy around this forest, and then you have all these characters that really have nothing to do with each other, and they start to cross paths because of this crazy bear. You have Eddie and David, who are these drug dealers who are sent to Georgia to retrieve the coke. They're played by O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Alden Ehrenreich. Then you also have these kids who skip school to go paint this waterfall in the middle of the forest. The little girl's mother is played by Carrie Russell. Her name is Sarah, and she's going to go try to find them and get them out of the forest. She's sure that they're lost because they are lost. You have Park Ranger Liz, who is completely annoyed by Sarah and this other situation because she's trying to put on a good front and put on good effort to basically woo her crush, this naturalist named Peter, and also deal with these bullies slash teenage punks that are running roughshod around the park. Then you also have Detective Bob, who is played by Isiah Whitlock Jr. He's trying to find the cocaine and he's trying to find the drug dealer so he can take out the main kingpin of drugs, this guy named Sid from Missouri. It's a lot of random stuff, but who cares? It's really not about them in terms of what they're there for. Their stories are not as important as the story of them engaging and interacting with this coked up bear. There's even more storyline and story plots that are whittled throughout this 2-hour film. None of them are really important. You're really there just to see this coked out bear do some damage and engage with these people in these funny scenarios. It's a serviceable comedy about this one-trick pony, which is this coked out bear. Now, this is directed by Elizabeth Banks. She's a comedic actor that's in a lot of films, everything from The Hunger Games to Pitch Perfect. You name it, she's probably been in it. She's been around for, I don't know, probably 20 years or so acting. But she has some directing credits to herself as well. She did the 2019 remake of Charlie's Angels. She did Pitch Perfect 2. She directed that. She did that terrible movie 43. We want to forget about that. But for the most part, as a director, she seems to choose these projects that focus on escapism, getting the audience into the theater, getting the audiences to sit at home and watch a film and just kind of turn their mind off and laugh and not take things too seriously. All of her films seem very self-aware that, hey, the material that we're working with shouldn't be taken seriously. It's not that important, as opposed to, I want to make the jokes come again and again and again. Sometimes the jokes work like they do here in Cocaine Bear, and then sometimes they really don't, like in movie 43. I actually think this is probably the best film that she's directed. She hasn't directed much yet, but between this and Pitch Perfect 2, which I liked a lot as well, I think that this might be number one. She's worked with people that she's worked with a lot, like Jesse Tyler Ferguson from Modern Family, and smaller comedians, and even some social media influencers and YouTube stars seem to be in this film as well. And everybody's having a good time. It seems like she has done a great job of really explaining to the people there that are getting the checks, the actors, that, hey, you know, have some fun with this. Also, I'm not sure this is the last Ray Liotta film. I think that it is, the late great Ray Liotta, but it's great to see him have some fun and to not take himself too seriously as the big baddie, and Sid as well. Probably the biggest standouts in terms of having the best scenes, the best skits, the best scenarios is obviously Isiah Whitlock Jr. I don't know how he achieved it. He's like super competent as a detective. He's been following Sid. He knows the MO. He knows where the drugs are. He seems to be very good at his job, but he also kind of seems kind of dopey. He's looking for a dog. He adopted a Shih Tzu. I think that's what it is, a Shih Tzu, by accident as opposed to a golden retriever. Not sure how that happened, and he's really concerned about his dog. He's a lovable guy. He's so good at what he does. The show stealer, the one that's going to be remembered the most to me, is Margo Martindale as Park Ranger Liz. She is hilarious. She just wants to be loved and has her little crush, and she gets so annoyed by Carrie Russell. She don't care about those kids. She doesn't care about them being lost in this huge forest for some reason, even though she's the main park ranger. Because it's like, hey, you're blocking right now. I'm trying to get with Peter, and here you come with your problems or whatever, and inviting yourself along on our nice stroll. She's so annoyed by the high school kids, the punks that are basically wreaking havoc around the forest. Not so much as because she wants to stop them, but because they're a nuisance as well, and they're right in front of her all the time, and she just can't identify them as being these hooligans, basically. You've seen some of the funny scenes in the trailer, but she has even more than that to offer throughout the film. I love the child actors too. Unfortunately, they disappear for a lot of this film. I could have done with more of them and less of David and Eddie, which is the drug dealers. I could have did more with the kids together, but you know, hey, it's all fun. It's all good. So anyway, what's my rating? See it, stream it, or skip it. This is a solid stream it. I don't think that it was intended to be anything special. If you go with a bunch of friends to the theater, you're gonna laugh and you're gonna have fun with this. But to me, it's a really rewatchable film, especially in big chunks where you're not really really doing anything, say you're washing dishes or you're folding clothes or something like that, it's so easy just to jump to skip the skit that you like and just laugh while you do something. So to me, that's the best way I could recommend this film. But that said, I think a lot of people are gonna go see this film. I think a lot of people are gonna like this film. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy that loves movies. So if you're gonna go see Cocaine Bear this weekend, let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. Come back and tell me. Did you think it was funny? Did you think the gag got kind of old? I want to know it all. And also, I'm sorry we had to take a break from See It last week, but we will be back this week. We're gonna close out Black History Month and talk about some of my favorite actors and actresses of all time. So whatever is in the news, we're gonna cover that as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe, all that jazz, the things that you do to help this channel survive. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and I'll see you at the theaters next week.